Battlefront Fighter Squadron is awesome. Plain and simple, it is a really fun mode to play. Guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is eNtaK. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be covering Fighter Squadron and talking about all kinds of things that are involved in this awesome mode. One of the best things about Battlefront is that there are so many different modes that there has to be at least one mode that each person will enjoy. And Fighter Squadron is probably one of my favorite modes in the game at the moment. The mode is so good that it could easily be its own game with, you'd have to do more with it, but it is really awesome and it's totally different than what the rest of your Battlefront experience will be, that it could easily be a game of its own. While I think it is somewhat very easy for me, it takes at least some element of skill to be good at it, as there are all kinds of different things that go into this mode. Now I hope that this video serves as somewhat of an introduction to the mode as well as a guide for you when you first might start playing this mode. First off, one of the most important things you will need to make sure you have right for this mode is your sensitivity. Too high for what you can actually control. You might not be able to track people and lock onto targets as easily, so you need to make sure that it's not too high. Now too low, too slow for you, you might not be able to evade well enough. So it's very important to find that sweet spot, find the right sensitivity for your playstyle, because some people might play at a really high sensitivity or really low sensitivity, but it's what you can handle. So make sure that you have that right. It may take some experimenting, but you should find very quickly what works well for you. And secondly, speed and lack of speed is key in this mode. It's very, very important. And what I like to do is go rather slow and approach the battle slowly. This way, I can have the maximum distance I need to lock onto a target and shoot at them, thus giving me the most effective means of taking them out. Also, if someone gets on your tail, speeding away at full speed or circling at full speed may lose them and possibly the missile that they launched at you. Both sides have different abilities. The Rebels have shields, great guns, and durable vehicles, so make use of the shield at the proper moment as well as your maneuvers. The Imperial side has, at least in my opinion, weaker guns, so it might take a bit more or some better maneuvering to take out the enemy targets, or at least that's been my experience. Maybe I'm just playing them a little wrong, but I feel like they have weaker guns. Now, they do not have shields, so you must rely on your boost to get away from sticky situations. It might be very helpful to remap your maneuver keys to something that will allow you to use them quicker, as sometimes you will need to react within a split second to avoid death. I have them mapped to my mouse keys, and so that way I can easily click without moving my hand too much. It's very important to remap it to something that is easy for you to get to, because you have to react very quickly. Also, proper management of your shields or boosts is very important to remember, as things have cooldown periods, so you can't just go around and use things over and over and over again. Being in a situation without a key skill may easily get you killed. So from what I've noticed, X-Wings and TIE Fighters can pack a punch, but I have found that the A-Wing and the Interceptor to be more within my playstyle. Now, it's hard to really understand what I mean by that unless you play them, but you can tell a distinct difference between the two. I seem to have way more fun and have a more effective time while in the A-Wing than in anything else. Both sides. A-Wing just seems to fit my playstyle perfectly. What I would recommend is to spend some matches playing various things to find out what you like most. Now, I have a feeling that everyone will have a different thing that they prefer over another. It is important for you and for your team to use what you're best in. However, you can spend your time in Fighter Squadron using various things as practice in an effort to get better overall, as in other modes you might not always find what you're best in on the map through a pickup on the battlefield. So being somewhat good in all of them may help your team in those other modes, so it's very important to keep other modes in mind as well. So in the match, there are a few important things to consider, so let's go ahead and talk about some of those things. There are objectives. Kill count matters in this mode. Also, there is a transport vehicle that needs to be defended and eliminated. Be on the lookout for that, as throughout the battle you'll find these randomly appear. It will be announced, and these can greatly help towards your score limit goal. There are also hero pickups in the match. Slave 1 and the Millennium Falcon can be acquired through the match. Keep an eye out for the hero icon down low during the match. You also have armor repair and refreshes that you can find down low, and so it's important to remember to pick those things up and look for those things throughout the match. Slave 1 is incredibly maneuverable. It has a radar jammer, and that allows you to fly around without people being able to lock onto you, and that's very important and very annoying for the people who are trying to actually lock onto Slave 1. And the Millennium Falcon has some incredible guns and is able to withstand many hits. You're nearly invincible when you're in these things. However, keep in mind that both sides will have a hero, and most of the time those heroes will fight. You can easily kill normal ships in either of these and be very, very effective for your team. Keep in mind that, as I said, both hero ships can do a ton of damage to one another, so it's important to keep an upper hand somehow on the other hero. Also, it is important to note that the hero pickup may be in a trench or around rocks, so it might be difficult to acquire. Look out for mountains. It's very important. All in all, this mode is really easy, and while it might seem repetitive, I think you can quickly find out that there's more to the mode than simply holding down the right mouse button, locking on, and shooting people. You need to maneuver, you need to use skills at key times, approach fights in different ways, protect your attack transports, pick up heroes, and so much more. As I said, I think that this game mode can easily be a game in and of itself because it's so good. Something also tells me that this mode will see improvements in the future and changes as time goes on, and I'm very excited for that. At least I hope that's going to happen, because there's a lot that could be done with this mode that I think would be very fun to play. While it is somewhat arcadey and repetitive, it has a third and first person, so you can play either one. You can hold C to toggle between the two of those. And I mean, it gives you a really authentic feel when you go into first person. It doesn't really make that much of a difference and can actually hinder your improvement in-game and your effectiveness in-game. But there are many challenges that go into this mode, and it's a lot of fun when you realize all the things that await you in this mode. Just keep in mind while you're playing to have fun, figure out your sensitivity, because I found that that's probably the #1 thing for new players coming into the mode. If you have a messed up sensitivity, you might immediately think, man, this game mode is really bad and I can't figure out how to play it, but you might just have to tweak your sensitivity, and then you'll find yourself being able to lock onto people and attack people really easily. And before long, you'll notice that things go a little bit differently when you're actually able to maneuver and stick on people's tails and use your controls and your sensitivity to your advantage. And so keep that in mind, because it is very important. I had issues with that when I first started, and so just keep that in mind. Do the best as you can and have fun, and just keep practicing, because it gets better and better and better. And it's probably one of the best modes in terms of improving your KD, because there's AI and there's players that you can attack, and players pay out more, but AI is really easy to kill. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more Battlefront content, because there's going to be more coming, more guys, more gameplay, all kinds of different things. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.